stupendously quiet. But yes, we've had the notifications. That's better.
Go like this.
Oh, Jordy's here!
It's first one has
Hello, mate.
Well, we are live now. So.
Is it working? Is
Are we?
stream on?
And it's go, go,
There we go. Yeah, I've got it. Right, boom. Yeah. 28 actually. It's episode 28 and it's live. Yeah. Well, hello everyone. Bit of a different voice from normal because Callum's not here today, but that's fine. Yeah, it's Owen hosting today. Yeah, so welcome to the SidePOD. Who have I got with me today? I'm trying to think. We've got Ranga and Clock as per normal. No Steve-O this week, and we've got Matt, so Southerner.
Hello.
Jay Geddes as instead of what Callum said last week, and we've got SLR Dylan with us as well.
Big round of applause. No. Okay, cool. Yay.
Oh my gosh, let's put that straight in the race. Right.
It's live!
Yeah. Right. So if I'm not mistaken, we are talking today about driving rules. So we'll go through both in F1 and in SLR as well. We'll see what we can do with that. Of course, there's been big news this week with all sorts of driving moves kind of happening as early as this week, and as well for at least one off.
Wait, big news? I didn't know any big news.
Some form
What sort of big news is this?
Fuck off.
Got someone film me in?
Yeah, no, a lot of people haven't really heard about this. I don't quite know what it was, but yeah, it's I don't think I really need to tell anyone what's happened, but there's lots of moves. We've got, of course, with Grosjean's crash, we've got who's it coming in? Fittipaldi coming in, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we've got Russell in the Mercedes this week, and Jack Aitken in the Williams. I almost said Ferrari. It's not in the Ferrari. And then we've got the Haas drivers being confirmed for this week, and I feel like there's been more, but I don't think there has. There's so much stuff this week. I've lost count. Right. Before we get underway, how is everyone? Is everyone feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Got a nice week and a bit off work, so very chillaxed. I thought to add to that chillax week off list, I'd make my appearance again on the SidePOD. I've got a nice J2O in my hand, so
J2O.
well, yeah, the beers for post-season. Don't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah.
Smoke and fly instead.
Wrong.
Apologies for being a bit late, guys.
Yeah, as long as you don't do it again, it's fine.
Apologies. Okay, we're going to be like that, are we? You missed the average live.
I've just noticed that my the stream's just playing on my just on my phone. Just putting nothing. Right. So, yeah. What do we want to say anything beforehand?
Yes, I want to say that Baggy Fan says the game sound is a bit loud.
Yeah, I've just seen that, so I'm just changing that to turn down the master volume a little bit.
Baggy fan, I think that's a you
We'll put it
problem.
on 6. We'll see what that's like. For me, I can barely hear it at all now, so it's really weird. Hopefully that's right.
18
Yeah,
viewers.
we'll be very happy, Baggy, if you can tell us in the chat if it's good or not.
Tell us in the chat.
But
Okay.
also,
Just
Baggy, if you've got any questions for us, Baggy, on this subject, please, by all means, chuck questions in, as long as they're...
I have a question while we're on the subject of Baggy, but I need to ask this to Matt.
Oh, here we go, I think I know this.
So, Matt, just to clarify for everyone, can you tell me what actually happened with Baggy and that kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to know that.
Right,
I
he actually.
really want to know that.
There you go,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
this
one of
actually.
the-
Gather round.
promised us
Gather
last week
round,
to hear this.
people.
Yeah, we want to.
Everyone listen in.
Right,
Oh,
so
God.
when we're at secondary school, you know, you get like a rumour go around saying like, oh my god, this and that's going out with this person, oh this and that kissed this person. At Toynbee School, where our secondary school was, there was a rumour. Someone came up to me one day and said, oh my god, did you hear about Marcus? No, what happened to him? You seriously not heard about Marcus? No, what's he done? He's eating a kid. What? He's eating a kid. Like, and that actually That actually went round the whole school like it was a real thing.
But why did he eat the kid?
Right, well, actually, good question. Why did he eat the kid? So, one day, he went to the Hawthorn Stadium to watch the home of West Brom. Went to buy a West Brom shirt with the player name Jonas Olsen on the back. There was only one in the store left, unfortunately, so he went to go and approach it, but unfortunately, at the last second, a kid took it off him. So, just Baggy fan retaliated and ate the kid in the shirt. But the question what people keep coming to me about is why is Baggy fan getting a kid-sized shirt in the first place? But that's another question for another day. But yeah, there you go. So for anyone wondering,
Well then.
why? Yeah, we move.
That is the most highly anticipated question, possibly in SLR history, and it's just been answered there and there, right?
Yeah,
Your eyes.
I've been very curious because Geddes promised us last week that he would tell us a story about why
Well,
Baggy
yeah.
ate the kid. So I'm very happy I know that now.
So there we go, guys. So for everyone that was wondering, that's where we're at, and Baggy is, as far as I'm concerned, a cult hero for that. So Baggy, well done, mate.
It's a great
And
dispute. It's great for changing the mood a bit. If there's a dispute.
And just to
Chuck it in
clarify
there.
as well, that Matt got one slight thing wrong then. It's not actually a rumour, that actually happened. Some might wonder how it happened. You know how it happened now. It's actually physically possible, as we've discovered. So there we go. The old
He's just
SLR community.
He's just put in there actually. Baggy's just put in there saying the SidePOD has taken a dive since these clowns have joined. Primal.
Yeah, he's fuming, isn't he?
Oh God.
Anyway, should we move?
No.
yeah, well.
I mean, I want. How old was the kid he ate?
I mean, that's a question for Baggy fan. I mean, we just
Oh.
know the minor details. I mean,
Go on, Baggy.
Yeah.
In the chat. You can find out for us. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's one answered. Have we got any more questions that we were asked before today? We perhaps could answer now. Or we get on a little.
It's usually Geddes who has a random question each week.
Random
Oh,
question
God.
each week. Well, that's one of the
what about some of the polls you've had?
some of the polls. Oh, should we go through
Yeah.
the polls, and boys? Just so
Yeah,
that
let's
I
go
mean,
through
a
the
lot of them
polls.
were
Let's go
very
through a weekly
one-sided,
roundup of the
but,
polls. I like this idea.
There was
so-
one that I wasn't very happy about. I think that was very successful in the outcomes of them.
Go
which
on.
was that?
Dairy, so. That was the Galaxy Dairy Milk one. I'm a big,
Oh,
big Dairy Milk
yeah.
man.
So
I'm
that's
I mean,
one.
I love Galaxy. I love it, but I'm a big Dairy Milk man.
So that one was a bit of a difficult question for me because I'm quite happy for either.
Yeah, I understand.
Actually,
But I
there
mean-
was one. Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, there was one poll that I think almost caused a stir. It was when you said about who do you think will be the next world champion, and you didn't actually include the option of Max Verstappen. I mean,
The reason why I said that is because I look at Max Verstappen. I say he's a bit more established than the rest of them, to be honest. Reason why that's one of the reasons why I didn't include him. But I mean, obviously Max Verstappen is
probably
a very, very good driver. But you know, but yeah, I'm a bit surprised with some of the results. I mean, Charles Leclerc was the obvious choice, I think, for most people. George Russell, again,
Gotta be G Russ.
I can't believe that he's actually managed to get a Merc seat, and I really do hope that we.
Oh, why did you tell
oh,
him?
my bad.
My
Oh,
God.
there we go. Right,
Why
got
is-
some off.
Well, guys,
I'll see
that
you
was a
later.
How come he's got a Merc seat?
well,
Anyone know
SidePOD's
how he's
over.
got a Merc seat?
What's
yeah,
happened?
so
There's something happened to Bottas or Hamilton.
looks like I've been stacked from the side.
Well,
why?
apparently, I'm not entirely sure, but apparently Lewis got the coronavirus.
What's the
What?
coronavirus?
No, really?
I'm not-
Oh,
I'm
wow,
not
that's amazing,
sure.
that
The
is.
coronavirus.
Oh,
I mean,
mate,
I
I'm
can't.
sorry.
If you're gonna,
Oh, it's
if you're
not one
gonna
of these
act like,
viruses again, is it? I'm getting so tired of this.
I'm sick and tired of you.
Oh, wow. Don't blame me.
Dildos.
Great.
Hey?
Sorry?
Anyway,
Didn't quite get
Sorry. So, on to tonight's discussions.
Yeah, why not? We can go on to that now. So this week we're talking about driver moves. We'll start in F1 as I said already about what is everyone's thoughts. If we start with perhaps maybe the ones going into this week, because as we're kind of on that topic, just like the ones going on to, because we've got a few changes to the normal grid this weekend. What's everyone's thoughts about it?
Who is changing seats, by the way? I don't know.
For fuck's sake.
He's actually serious as well. He's not joking.
Okay.
He's serious.
Right. Okay. If I say so, but it's only. I think it's only 2 changes, right? Well, 3. No, 3. We've got Pietro Fittipaldi, not Enzo. Pietro Fittipaldi's gone. Replaced Grosjean after his crash last week. We have got Russell is moving up to Mercedes for this 1 week for Hamilton, and then no clue as to why he's got it, but you know.
What?
And
What?
Aiken has taken Russell.
No.
Hey, can we just rewind?
Right, no, it's
No, I didn't mean.
discuss,
That's
the
not what I
discussion
meant.
has
I
started
was
now.
supposed to throw
Discussion
Yeah,
Jake.
but you can't be saying that controversial statement there and getting away with it.
It started now.
that was me
Thank you for
misspeaking.
opening the door, Owen. Right,
There you go.
Russell to Mercedes. Let's talk. We'll start with you, Ranga, mate.
I didn't actually think it was possible. I think if there was a perfect outcome, it was this. So it's an absolute dud as far as I'm concerned. But he surely is gonna just walk into Hamilton's seat whenever Hamilton feels like giving it up. Surely, like he's demonstrated.
Test this weekend.
He's demonstrated so many brilliant qualities in that Williams. I know he hasn't got a point yet. I know he bottled it when he could have got a point, but look what he does in that Williams. He's out-qualified his teammate in every single race he's done so far. Every single one.
Which isn't easy. With Russell to Mercedes, I mean, as soon as the announcement was made about Hamilton is missing this weekend, I mean, I was praying it would be Russell into the Merc, but I thought just because of like how Mercedes have been with like just their drivers in general for the past few years, I thought now they'll just give it to like Van Dorn or Gutierrez. But to see Russell in it, it does go to show that Russell is the future of Mercedes, and in my opinion, the future of Formula One. He is.
Yeah,
I mean, even though he hasn't scored a point, I mean, there's a lot of people have argued saying he hasn't actually done much to prove that he's on the same level as like Leclerc or Verstappen. But in my opinion, he already is. Just seeing his qualifying pace reminds me a bit of Fernando Alonso, where in Alonso's early days, as well as Leclerc, Verstappen, they would always get the best out of their car in the qualifying. And yeah, because he's so good in qualifying, it kind of does put dampen on his race pace, which, yeah, like Ranga just mentioned, he has bottled a few races, but he's always just got the best out of his car, which I think is actually probably the best way to start your Formula 1 career, because if you're already grinding out as much as you can of an underperforming car, when you get into that performing car, i.e. Mercedes, you're in a good position to, well, get the most you can out of the best car, which hopefully expects a pole position or a win. But I do certainly expect to see a top 4 qualifying and definitely a podium, and I think that alone would be a huge success. And if he beats Bottas, then it would certainly not look great for the Finnish driver.
It would definitely raise a few eyebrows, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think this is when we'll see if he's special or if he's just like one of the, if he's like a Hamilton or if he's a Bottas or if he's a Schumacher or if he's a Barrichello, if you know what I mean.
Well,
And I say a lot of people say it's unfair to judge him now, but I think that those drivers that are special, like multiple world champion material, they've always excelled almost straight away. Schumacher in '91, when he just got thrown in there and out-qualified his teammate straight away. Hamilton in '07 just got in there and finished on the podium in his first race and almost won the championship in his first season. You always have these special drivers doing special things straight away. Raikkonen, not special anymore, but he was very special at the early part of his career and finished very high up in his first race with Sauber in Australia. So I think this is a very defining moment for him. But if he's even close to Bottas, like same as Bottas, if he's really close to him within qualifying, I think we would have to call it a successful weekend. But talking about the qualifying, I actually have the stats about that, which is he's out-qualified his teammate now 36 races in a row.
It's a 100% record. 100%
No,
record.
it's not a record. Yeah, 100% record like that. Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, in his
I think
career.
it's on like the
It's-
third most, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
because Nelson Piquet qualified his teammate 36 times as well in a row between 79 and 82. Ayrton Senna did it 44 times between 85 and 88, and who has the record is actually Michael Schumacher, who out-qualified his teammate 56 times in a row between 92 and 95.
This must be a record though from like your first race though, surely. I mean, he's never. He's almost 2 seasons in. He's never been out qualified.
It is a record, but although I would question his teammate a bit, but I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying it's not fair enough because
What's wrong with you, Bitzer?
even a bad. I mean, he couldn't use the one of his arms properly, so. That's
Wow,
Fair,
that's a
but
flight.
just looking at what he's
That's a
done
bit
in
harsh.
free practice sessions, he's looked very decent in the Alfa Romeo this season.
Yeah, I'm not
Who
saying
did?
he's bad.
Free practice
I'm not
sessions.
saying he's bad. I'm saying he's worse than he was before. But I was about to say that Russell. I mean, out qualifying your teammate every time shows big strength. 'Cause, I mean, even if you have a worse teammate, you're most likely gonna lose to him at least once or twice. But he hasn't, so.
Yeah, right. So when is it a successful weekend for Russell? Like, where does he need to end in the race?
I think
I'd
it's
say he
more...
will have to be at least on the podium.
Yeah,
I'd say fair enough if he loses to Bottas, and maybe fair enough if he loses to Verstappen, but no one else.
Maybe.
It's gonna be a-
Come on, Bottas uses Verstappen on the daily. And
Yeah, but I mean the Merc is much better than the Red Bull, and if
I know-
he's,
I know,
and
but-
if he's
I mean-
one of those really special drivers, he should really beat Verstappen.
it's
I think.
not that.
I know,
much
but
better,
Verstappen
where,
with
like,
that Red Bull, it's literally that Red Bull is built around Verstappen, and he is getting absolutely everything out of the Red Bull. I mean, Bottas as well. It's pretty much as well as Hamilton's. It's his Mercedes. Russell is the Mercedes is obviously going to feel a lot different compared to Williams. So I think yeah, it'd be a lonely third for Russell in my opinion. I think.
So who is saying winning then? We're saying Verstappen's winning this weekend.
Yeah,
are we?
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
Verstappen.
I think Russell could be on for P2. I just don't think Bottas's head is in it right now. I think he's literally like he has
I've got
literally lost his
right.
head after what
Is,
happened in Turkey.
I mean, this could be the most important weekend for Bottas in years. If he doesn't beat Russell, he's gonna do his last season next season.
He's
He
already going
needs
to be a
to be-
second team driver before Russell joins.
I mean, to be fair, I'm kind
Yeah,
of surprised that they took Russell though. Like, obviously he's really talented and they need to show it, of course. But I mean, it's also a bit like it's kind of like up and under. I don't know really how to say it, but if he doesn't perform well this weekend, like maybe people are gonna doubt him. And the easier option would have been to put either Van Dorn or Gutierrez in there. So
I don't know. I mean, I think I've given Mercedes a lot of criticism about they've got this Mercedes Driver Academy, which we lost Berline in F1 because nobody wanted to take him on because he was under contract with Mercedes. Ocon missed a year in F1 because of the same problem, and maybe because of that year, Ocon kind of has lost his shine, as we've seen this season. I just thought if they didn't give Russell that chance this weekend, I thought, are they just doing the same again? They're passing off a great opportunity. Even if Russell does have a bit of a not the greatest race weekend this weekend, we've got to bear in mind this is his first race. All he's really done in this car is a few practice sessions of qualifying the race. I think if he does have an absolute shocker and like spins it 5-6 times, then maybe you could say, yeah, it doesn't look great. But
yeah, but like not to compare him to anyone else, right? But like Verstappen had 3 practice sessions, a qualifying session, and a race, and obviously he won it because Hamilton and Rosberg crashed.
fair enough.
But he still had to keep up with the Ferraris and record it. So
Yeah, I see your point. Fair enough. Yeah,
I mean,
he's got a point. Yeah, 'cause I think he's on par with. I still think he's on par with Verstappen. So yeah, Dylan's right. Maybe you should be expected to go at the front. Eat my own words.
I mean, I think it's like I just think that if he it's just gonna show if he's like super special driver, or if he's like a Massa or
Yeah.
a Raikkonen or a Button, or because I don't doubt that he's not one of those drivers. He's not like I mean, he's not a Kvyat or a driver like that. He is at least world champion material, but the difference is if is he multiple world champion material or that like Rosberg Button, that glove
Yeah.
material.
But on this subject,
Right,
then,
here's a question.
oh sorry,
Are you saying something?
if I can, quick.
Yeah.
Does this, with Hamilton now, maybe obviously as much as I want George to do well, does this give an opportunity for someone mid-pack to potentially get a race win?
I don't feel
Do we think?
I think
I'd say
as long
no.
as the race is like normal.
Yeah, of course it's
Does
possible.
Are we expecting something completely out the blue? Could
no.
this be a chance for someone like Ricardo or Perez to
No,
get a race win?
Maybe
Verstappen's still there.
Verstappen,
Bottas
Bottas.
isn't it yet.
Nah,
Could
It
be
would
on for a shock.
Most likely be one of those.
Could be on for a shock.
I don't think Verstappen's gonna bottle it many. He's only did it done once this season. It's been in Turkey. Otherwise, he's always been super consistent and extremely good. So
Right, here's a question to everyone. Really. So of course, Russell's on 36 and 0. Will it go 37 this weekend? What do you reckon?
I feel like it needs to stay at 36-0, and then from Abu Dhabi next race should be counted to 37-0 if he qualifies Latifi. But that's my point of it. Like they're not qualifying against each other, so it would be harsh on Latifi to give him the loss or Russell's win. But at the same time, it's harsh the other way around. So.
yeah, but he's gonna qualify against Bottas now. It's
Yeah.
gonna be,
Oh yeah,
think,
all right.
Bottas isn't a bad qualifier, no matter what everyone says. I mean, he gets like fastest in all the practice sessions and all the qualifying, bar the one that gets you pole. But he's never. Well, there's only a few times he's been miles off Hamilton, and apart from that, he's always been maybe just a tenth off. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect too much change. I wouldn't be surprised if Russell out-qualifies him, because as we know, Russell's got ridiculous one-lap pace. But then, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Bottas just pips him, because again, he's used to that machinery.
and Bottas. I think Bottas is underrated in qualifying. He's a great qualifier. That is his strength qualifying. It's just the problem that he's qualifying usually against probably the best qualifier around. Well, the best qualifier around, and maybe the best qualifier all time, apart from Senna, I'd say. But that's another discussion. So I think Bottas versus literally anyone else but Hamilton, I think he would look much better. But the fact is that he's up against Hamilton now, and Hamilton is an expert on qualifying, especially in Q3.
Okay, anyone can argue with that.
I guess if we go from Russell, I guess the only right one to go from that is, of course, the man that's going to be replacing him in the Williams for this weekend, Jack Aitken. What is everyone's thoughts on
I think he's got a lot of
with
potential.
Jack taking
but
the seat?
I think he's got a lot of potential. Well, I don't think he will show it as much this weekend. I mean, if he qualifies Latifi, then I mean, you've got probably to sit up and notice, I guess. But it's only Latifi in it, really. Like,
With Aitken for Williams, I think it might be a bit controversial. I think this is maybe his swan song for his chance of getting into F1, because he's 25 now. He's been in F2 for a few seasons. He's leaving Campos, I believe, anyway. He hasn't really impressed this season, maybe since he's been in Formula 2, unfortunately. So, I mean, maybe this will be his just sole Formula 1 appearance. It's maybe a make or break for him. I mean, nothing to lose, because personally I don't think he's got what it takes to get into Formula 1, but if he does have an absolute blinder and destroys the Latifi and shows really good race pace, then there's no harm in damaging that. That might be possibly a lifeline, but next season he'll probably be in the Japanese Super Formula Series or in the Le Mans stuff. Yeah, I don't think we'll see him around the Formula pads.
Since when has he been in F2? Like 2016 or so? Since when has he been in F2?
Something like that, yeah. Something like 2016, I think he has. But in F2, they have
He's been
they have a 4-season rule where if you win it, that's it, you're gone. But you're
Yeah.
only ever given 4 seasons also. So I think like, there's
Okay.
another driver in Formula 2 we won't see.
Must be Giotto.
Sean Galal. Sean Galal, we won't see him again
Oh,
after
yeah.
this season.
What
That's
about
it,
Giotto? He seems pretty old, isn't he? For an
Yeah, I
F2
think-
driver.
I
He's
think
He's also
25.
quite. Yeah, I think he's around the same age.
Yeah,
he's
we
25.
won't. Yeah, he's Yeah, it's
No, but like if Aiken is if he ends this season in F2, it's his 4th season, and like he hasn't
Yeah.
become champion. If you look like guys like Nick de Vries, he has become F2 world champion in his 3rd season, I think so. Like he hasn't gone to F1. I feel like it's a bit harsh for those drivers if Aiken.
Oh, massively.
Isn't that
gets
another
in
Mercedes
F1
case?
Yeah, yes,
Well,
it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
de Vries was a Mercedes driver too. Yeah.
They're really bad at taking care of the young drivers.
Exactly. I mean, I've had a few people who go at me saying I think Mercedes are bad for the sport for that sense, but you've had actually no Mercedes driver from the academy make it up. I mean, yeah,
Ocon has.
Prob-
Russell has.
yeah, this
Van Dorn
weekend.
did.
Van Dorn.
I don't know if Van Dorn wasn't.
Mission
never mind,
Fairline.
never mind. What's his name?
I mean, Berline
Van
ended
Dorn.
up in a Ferrari
What's his
car
name?
team.
Yeah, Verline, that's his name.
Yeah,
they
he
didn't
was
do anything with.
He was a Mercedes driver until I can't even remember what it was.
He got released from Mercedes at the end of 2018, but he lost his Formula 1 seat at the end of 2017, which I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Nah.
Didn't he
Come on,
do like
guys.
the 1 year in Sauber, and then he became a Ferrari Academy driver, if I remember rightly.
He was in Ferrari because Sauber with a Ferrari engine wouldn't take on a Mercedes driver.
Hmm. Trying to remember, but yeah, I remember he was always one of the ones that I really wanted to see make it, but he didn't, which was a shame. Which was also kind of doesn't yet, but I'm gonna say it kind of brings it on to another driver that I was really hoping that we'd see this weekend, even though we've seen him plenty of times this season, which was Nico Hülkenberg. I did kind of want him to get a Mercedes driver out of anyone, but that's just me personally, and me being a massive
Well,
Hülkenberg fan
yeah,
over the
but
last few years.
it wouldn't make sense
But,
if Mercedes would have picked
Yeah,
Hülkenberg over even either Van Dorn or.
I kind of hoped for him to get the Haas driver in the first place. To be fair,
Yeah.
that was my ideal solution
yeah.
to start off with. But, of course, we have got. Well, to be fair, it makes complete sense, doesn't it, with the Haas driver, reserve driver, sorry, I should say, of Pietro Fittipaldi. Does anyone know too much about him? Because personally, I don't.
No, neither.
He hasn't actually been in an open wheel car since March.
He won.
This is gonna go.
He
well.
won like really won a championship with like 8 drivers in it, and got 35 super license points for it in 2017. Then he was injured for 2018, so they wanted to move that 2017 season to 2018. If that made, I mean,
Yeah.
if you get what I mean. So like that, those license, it counted that he got those license points in 2018 instead because he was injured and couldn't get any license points in 2018. And that is because when you accumulate your 40 license points that you're required to have, you have to. I think you can count like the two best of your last 3 years. I think it is, or it might be the 3 best of your last 4 years. It's either of them. So they wanted to change that, and that's why he's got 40 license points by being in pretty pointless years. That's what I've heard, at least listening to podcasts and stuff. But I mean, he's not a bad driver, as they said. It's like you don't win it, regardless of what championship it is. You don't win a championship by being bad, but it might not mean that you're a very special driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgive me
I
for
think it'll be
saying.
interesting to see how he does today.
Yeah,
Today, but
forgive me for saying. I think maybe his name, history in the sport might have got him a bit further.
I know his younger brother is in F3, isn't he? Enzo. I believe his brother. It might be
Yeah,
his
might
sister.
be. Or sisters. Sorry.
There've been a couple of Fittipaldis in F1. He's gonna be the fourth one actually. 'Cause they had Emerson, Emerson obviously was the best one. He won the championships, and then Emerson's brother started a team, obviously called SidePOD, which Emerson also drove for, and then it was Emerson's brother's son who was in the champion in F1 in the 90s, and now Emerson's grandson is doing a race. I'm seeing here in the stream chat actually that Darnell is not agreeing with us hating on the Mercedes driver.
Of course he's not. He's not. He's a Mercedes fan.
Actually,
Never heard of him.
Oh really? I mean, he says that he doesn't get the Mercedes Driver Academy hate. Where should you stick them? You can't expect the full grid of Mercedes Academy drivers. It doesn't work like that, some have to miss out.
But as much as they're helping drivers, I think they're holding them back. Because so many teams have turned away from really good drivers because they're contracted to Mercedes. That is... It's great helping them out, but only help them out if you're actually going to put them in a seat, like Red Bull are doing. Like Red Bull even came into a problem where they kept swapping them around, that they had no one left, and then they brought back Kvyat.
yeah. That was, of course, another point we were going to come on to, weren't we?
Yeah.
At some point.
I mean, you
Probably
could,
would be next, actually, funny enough.
even though it's my favourite driver getting the Renault seat, you can kind of criticise Renault for not putting in someone from their driver academy replacing Ricciardo. But I think they were just wanted to make a statement by bringing in the champion, because they've really got a young driver in Ocon who, again, unfortunately hasn't really shined this season. Ferrari are doing it, they've promoted Leclerc. But yeah, just Mercedes haven't gone with it yet. They haven't put that academy driver in their full-time seat.
Yeah, they've never done it, have they? Even when Rosberg stopped, they brought in Bottas. I'm not sure what kind of options they had in terms of a young driver, but I mean, Ferrari usually doesn't go for the young drivers, but they have now with Leclerc.
Yeah.
But before that, they never did. But I don't know. Mercedes doesn't. I agree with you. I think you can have a brilliant discussion there with your brother about.
Yeah.
about
Oh,
it.
we have plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, I'd rather have a discussion not agreeing than being like me and have a brother who isn't interested at all, so it's still lucky you.
Oh no, that's just, I was looking on Discord and I thought I got a notification, so I'm going to send me a question. Right, so, is there anything in particular that we want to move on to now, or
I just want to give a shout out to Bagafan, who says that he hopes that I get one title.
Yeah, I've literally just replied to that.
Cheers, mate.
yeah. Of course, that's such quite good. So of course we've got the top two in Division 1 at the minute in the podium here, Southerner and Sotty Clark.
You can win it on Friday. So.
One big thing, of course, is the fact that the winner of the two and who will win the championship, of course it might not be the two, we've got other guys involved as well that are a little bit further down.
Yeah, don't forget about me.
Will be moved up to Elite, and that would bring into the topic of SLR driver moves.
Yeah, first of all,
I thought that was a pretty good segue. Come on.
read the question from Baggy in the Twitch chat while you're on it.
Oh, come on!
Oh, not another question for me.
Who will win the SLR Div 1 title?
It says question.
This is a question for Ranga as well. Must be added.
Oh, who's going to win it, in my opinion?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
got to be Matt. I don't see how Matt's losing from here.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, Matt. I'm really sorry. I don't want to put any. I'm not meaning to put any pressure on anything, but he's just so consistent. He's no way he's losing it for me.
There's a long way to go, yeah. I mean, I just know that if I keep doing what I'm doing all season, I should just pip it, but you cannot underestimate Clark, because...
You can, he's
no. No,
Imagine if you could have a fair discussion for once.
Clark, like myself, we're not the fastest in Div 1. We're probably... I mean, forgive me, Clark, if you think different, but I wouldn't pass in the top 6 fastest in our division. It's just that we tend to stay out of trouble the most. Funny that, we both broke our front wing in turn 1 last week. But, well, I think if you just look at our qualifying pace, that alone kind of says a lot. I mean, we haven't got good qualifying records. We just managed to somehow find in the race. Just Clock's missed the race, so you can put that into factor as well. Clock also been a bit unfortunate. It's just really this season who stayed out of trouble. That's it. As long as I can keep doing that to the end.
Klopp has an incredible knack of just getting podiums out of nowhere. And I remember, like, I don't know where we were racing. It was not that long ago. Klopp was nowhere or raced. And then Owen tells me in the party that Klopp's P3 or something. I'm like, how is he P3? Like, how is he there?
There's so many races.
It was in both Russia and Japan, actually. I remember 2 weeks
Not
in
Russia.
a row.
I was like 10th in Russia.
How the hell is he? Well, he said it 2 weeks in a row. He's gone, how the hell has Clock got into a podium place?
Yeah, it was,
but it's like,
definitely...
I mean, I don't know. I think I agree with you completely. No, I've qualified like P6 from like 75% of the races I've done this season. And it's all about just staying consistent and just ending up. I mean, I've only won one race and I'm second in the championship. In the race I won, I qualified P6. I wasn't the fastest on track, but I capitalized on other mistakes. I've never been, not in a single race, I have been the fastest driver on pure pace. But multiple times I've been the most consistent one, and like not just the most consistent one in terms of crashing, but most consistent one in terms of keeping similar lap times and lesser penalties, and it's all kinds of stuff that ends up in consistency. And
Matt, were you P6 just out of interest in the race you won?
Yeah.
Like, did you qualify? That's funny. That's really weird, you know. I'm pretty sure I was P6 and then I won in Australia as well. I'm pretty sure. That's weird. That's P6 is where you want to be in
There we go, P6, the golden starting position.
That's interesting.
I've been P6
Odds
for
on,
almost
whoever gets
for
it
so
next
many
week.
races, and I've ended up on the podium so many times. And I mean, Japan is a perfect example. I'm thereabouts. I'm fourth. I'm running around. I'm slower than Tumen. I'm slower than Riggs. I'm slower than Kolka. Tumen bins it.
Shock.
Safety car comes out. I'm in
Sorry.
third. I mean, I am in third, but then Bunny comes into the equation. Bunny's quicker than me. Bunny overtakes me after the virtual safety car. Then Bunny bins it. Suddenly I'm in third again, and then Cole gets a penalty, and suddenly I'm second.
We've got questions flooding in, actually. We've got a controversial one from Joe, which I don't know if we should read out.
Oh dear. No. What is it? What is it?
Who's the biggest Div 1 sandbag?
McKeown.
Stay away.
I mean, he sandbagged him before the season, and then now he's bottled the championship himself anyway. So that's what I was going to say in regards to the question about winning the Div 1 championship. I think if McKeown hadn't missed these races, I think it was going to be very, very tight. You wouldn't be able to call it between Matt and
So we were looking
Callum,
at it. The whole season was like, oh, this is going to be such a close championship. And now, what's the gap now?
Is he
about
racing
30
Mexico?
Points, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's back from Mexico, but I don't think he's back properly.
That's
I
the
think
thing,
he's on
though,
a pad
'cause-
again.
Because he's only 7 points behind me. So as long as I
He
am,
probably could still win it, I guess, but like,
that's what I mean. As
Yeah.
long as I am really in the championship hunt, and as long as you talk about me, you can't forget him. That people just do because he's missed 2 races now, 3 or whatever it is.
yeah, but I mean, who is he? Like, I haven't got a clue who he is. Jokes.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Anyway, so just to put it into perspective, because I have got the permutations in front of me as it stands, and Matt can win the Div 1 if he can win Div 1 if he wins the race. But I believe it also matters what the other guys do behind. But I only looked at it from Matt versus Clock. I don't really think about McEwen and likes of Tumen as well. I think he's up there as well. I don't know if he can. Probably more as well. I haven't got the standings in front of me, so I can't check. But yeah, if Matt wins and Clock is 9th or lower, then that basically means Clock's top hopes are over. And then the same if Matt has fastest lap as well, so he gets all 26 points, and then Clock finishes 8th. I don't know what I think, because you both have the same amount of wins. It won't be done on like if you end up with the same sort.
If we end up with the same points, it's gonna be amount of wins and then amount of second places and going on like that until someone has more
as
than
it
the other.
stands, because it's only one win, it can sway either way. Where, for instance, in Div 2 this week, if we got to a stage that if Bennett and Leah did finish level 1 points, Bennett would still win anyway, so it kind of brought the permutations points down by 1, because if they finished level 1 points, Bennett had already got 5 wins and we had 4 races left in the season, so it kind of works a bit like that.
I've got a quick question
and Leah
for,
hadn't won a single race.
Quick question for Clock and Matt, considering enough, like, whoever wins championship, it's going to be between one of the two of them. How does the prospect of racing in the elite division sound for?
Very exciting. Very exciting, actually. No, seriously, it is, yeah, because
Probably beat Joe.
well, that as well, and it's just sort of been sharing the Formula 1 grid with the absolute aliens of SLR, like Ham, Jam, Hoop, Now, Lurks, Mitzi, Freeman, Zydrad, just sharing the grid with them, and comparing Formula 1 pace. Because obviously I share the grid with them in Formula 2, but we know what Formula 2 is like. The feature race, yeah, fair enough, but the sprint's an absolute mess. And you just know that if I'm finishing ahead of one of them, it's because one of them have been taken out from behind. But it would just be... I'm not expecting much personally if I did go to Elite. I probably won't expect to score a point, but going into the races without any pressure, which to be honest might make me perform better. If I get just 1 point in a race, that achievement alone would feel absolutely incredible. I'll go down in SLR as scoring a point in an Elite race. So I'll be quite excited personally, but I only want to go there to win the championship. That is the goal.
I think, first of all, I think both of us have that situation. If we win, we're going up. If we don't win, we're probably not going up. Because as we said, we're probably not the fastest ones. But if we win, we should go up. Because whoever wins has been the best over the whole season. He should go up. But no, I haven't really thought about it. I don't really... I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I've just...
Because you've raced
stayed
in
in
top division before.
Yeah,
Clock,
yeah,
in
I
season
raced
one
in
for
Div 1
anyone who
this
doesn't
season.
know.
Yeah.
Because anyone who
That's
doesn't
true.
know, when we first started the league, Clock was my teammate in a previous league, and we knew how quick he was. He was definitely quicker than me and several other guys who were in the same division. And he joined the league, and when he joined the league, I did say to him, "You're going to go in the old Div 2, but if you're too quick, you know, don't be upset if we move you up." Anyway, obviously he was upset because it's Clock, but like. Essentially,
Yeah, but you can
essentially
tell
he
I can...
absolutely dominated the start of Div 2
Yeah,
until Canada, and then he moved to Div 1. What is Elite now?
Yeah.
And didn't quite go to plan, but I didn't know he didn't go badly as such. But like, I mean, I
it
think
was
the gap
in
between that old Div 1 and current Elite is massive now. If we were to take the grid of the old Div 1 and put them up against the grid of the current Elite, it would be a absolute what's the word? I don't even know the word, but the old grid would get absolutely dominated by the new grid. I mean, it wouldn't even be. You'd think there'd be a different division. The old Div 1 would probably be slower than the current Div 1. That makes sense. And the divisions, you know, there's a higher division above that now.
Yeah, it was pretty
So-
similar in that season, to be fair. I mean, that season in Div 1 that I did, I was similar as I was now. I wasn't very good in qualifying, but around that time we usually only had 10 to 15 people grids, so so the points was those people retiring. But I was, there was one race which Rangi commented, which I've talked about many times before. It was in Belgium.
Spa, was it not? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started like 16th or 17th, and I finished like 5th. And I was like, because it became a bit of a thing in season 1 that I'd never got driver of the day. because I mean, obviously when I was in Div 2, I won a couple races, and the Rangi said that I dominated, but I never got driver of the day. So when we came to Belgium, I was like, surely I've gone 16th to 5th, I'm gonna get driver of the day now. And then Rangi's on stream, and he's like, Clock's not driver of the day because he didn't do a single overtake. And it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. It's actually true. I went 16th to 5th, where I didn't do a single on-track overtake. It was people crashing, losing the wing. I mean, I overtook several people because I lost the wing. I overtook several people in the pits on strategy, but I didn't do a single overtake on track, actually passing someone. But it was consistency that gave me the points, but yeah.
We've got a couple more questions in the chat, and both from Baggy, of course. And one of them is to Southerner. He goes, "Has there been a conspiracy to favour Red Bull?"
What's he mean?
Yeah, I wonder that as well.
I don't know what he means.
Yeah, what was he on about?
I don't know.
To favour Red Bull? that would affect me, would it not? What's he on about?
Oh, does it mean
I
in real
think-
life?
No, I think I know.
Oh, real
I
life.
think I know what he's on about actually. No, it's only because So obviously, I mean, we'll talk about it later on with driver movements, but there was one driver movement I massively questioned, and I jokingly said, "Oh, maybe it's to help a certain team out in the joint constructors." But that was just, yeah, I just said there's a. I'll say that some of the drivers in that team are in this party, so I've
Yeah,
what I say.
yeah, alright, Right, I hope Clock wins the championship now, yeah, cheers lads.
Right, that's
No,
At
I've got
least
a
they know what
feeling-
team I'm on
I
about
mean, I
then.
just- I
Matt,
don't
it's
think
just
it's-
one of Matt. It's just
don't
one of
think it's,
Ranga's another conspiracy
Oh,
handlings.
I don't
He,
think
in
this
season
is one
one,
of the,
in season one, he did the McEwen. He had the lead of the championship. He didn't turn up for the second half of the season, so he wouldn't get moved up, which
that's
I
not
still
true.
say he did.
Is categorically not true. Things happened in my life that meant I wasn't available on Friday nights for a prolonged period of time.
We all know you were shagging in season two,
Oh,
but in
for
season one,
God's sake. False, but carry on.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Another question. This one is for Gedders. And he goes, again from Baggy, and he says, what were your hopes for this season? So for season 5.
Good question. First of all, I just want to say it's been a great season, and obviously thanks guys for having me in the league. To be honest, I really didn't even know how it was going to go. So even to get a couple of points this season I was really happy with. I didn't really, like I said, didn't expect anything. I just mainly came for a bit of fun. To actually make it a bit more competitive and actually get involved in some points finishes was really, really good. And obviously I had a few penalties along the way, especially my first race, crossed the line in 4th, ended up 9th. I'm sure Dodgy will remember that quite well. And I'm sure he's watching the stream, so he definitely will remember. But now I've had to stop racing for the rest of the season because of my connection, but I finished on 28 points and just outside the top 10, which I would have taken. I never expected it, but yeah, I'd say it's quite a successful season. Yeah, I haven't really got anything else to say. It's got a really good question from Baggy. But no, yeah, like I said,
Fair
I'm
enough.
more than happy in how I've got on, and I'm sure certain people agree I've exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No,
I agree.
Yeah.
I can
I've
vouch
seen
for
some
that.
good
I was-
races.
Yeah, obviously I'm
Uh,
mates with Geddes outside of SLR, and I must admit, when I jokingly kept saying to the Baggy and Geddes, I'll join SLR, but then when they actually did, me and my brother will both agree we were both fearing in case it made us look like, I mean, Geordie and Marcus would both agree they were not fit to race online in general back in April.
I'm still not.
Like, it was, I mean, racecraft wasn't pretty, and the pace off me was about 7 seconds per lap. So to see them improve and develop the past few months and see them get points close to podiums in Division 3, it's made me quite proud, to be honest. It's just been great to see.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, mate.
Imagine having friends that actually like F1.
Imagine having friends. Imagine having friends who are nice to each other.
Imagine having friends.
imagine having friends.
What's a friend?
Yeah, what's one of
I
them?
think we went down a dark path here.
Yeah, anyway.
Sadness.
Let's move
Hello,
on.
darkness, my old
And,
friend.
As I might as well just say, we've the Wednesday race is finished now, and I believe it was it's actually very close. That pretty much the entire way Ham and Jam were battling, and Jam binned it on the last lap,
Oh.
which meant Ham took the win from Beast and Race Roller, I believe was the top 3. Yeah, just because it's kind of the perfect sort of time. Shall we move on to the quiz?
Hold on, I don't think we've finished talking about driver movements yet.
In the league.
We've
I'm
already
just thinking-
We've already talked about Div 1.
What do we want to talk about from in the league then? Let's go
Well,
through
you
in the
know, I
league.
think-
I'll just let you.
I'm sure
loose
there's
on the
people who are
reins.
watching who are interested. Maybe there's people in the party who are interested what the thought process is so far.
Go for it then. You go for it.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
waiting
want
for
to say
questions.
that. I just want to say that we can skip driver movements from real life, and I'll take that as the quiz instead and make it that way. So
I'm just
we'll
gonna
take
say,
the-
I mean, obviously the grids are not finalised yet, and they won't be finalised for a long time yet. But the grids for next season, I must say, are looking very, very tasty. I mean, I say this every time. I literally say this to get to this time of the season every single time, and I say the same thing. But every season the league goes on, it just gets better and better and better and better. And this season 5 has been amazing. It really has been fantastic for the league's perspective, and having 4 full-time F1 divisions and an F2 division that have pretty much flourished this entire season, with very little change on the admin side, the head admin side, the LO side, so on and so forth, and consistent turnouts from drivers, and obviously a few racing issues here and there, but that's bound to be expected in a racing league. I mean, like, the league has just gone. It's been amazing this season, and to see what it's going to look like in season 6 is very, very exciting. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, if I may add to that, like, this game hasn't been flawless at all, and even though this game hasn't been that good, like, I still love racing because of this league. I feel like in different leagues or in other leagues it wouldn't be the same. So that's kind of a compliment your way and like all the other headmans. Like, I've been really enjoying it. So despite this game being kind of shy at sometimes, but
It's good to
That's
see. It's good
what
to know
we
you're
love to
enjoying it,
hear.
because like you're obviously an elite driver, and granted you're not the top 5 elite drivers necessarily on pace week in, week out, but you're there or thereabouts, and sometimes
I mean, yeah, it's
track dependent. But
yeah, really track dependent.
obviously
not
you've got to really, really grind to be good in that division, as we've seen this season, like Darnell and Beast and Smoke and a couple of others moving up, like. Or maybe it's just been or guys who've been there, like maybe yourself and maybe like Nikki as well, have been like a little bit like shocked as to just the increase in pace in the division, because you've really got to work if you want.
Yeah, well,
if you
it's
want
like-
something in that, you've got to work for it, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's like I love doing those time trials and I love doing qualifying, but like race trims, I don't really like to do them. And you see those. I mean, for me on Sunday, like you see, like qualifying, I'm kind of close somewhere. Some tracks I am really close. Sometimes I'm really not. But like race trim is something else. It's like real F1 sometimes. Like McLaren can be really on it on Red Bull's tail in qualifying, but then on race day they're completely off, like a few seconds or a lap slower. And it's really for me that way on this game. That like Ham and Jam and Hoop and Freeman, those guys, they're like so much faster and so consistent lap after lap. And it's like, for me personally, I feel just struggling with that. So I don't know if I maybe do more race trims, I'll be better at that. But that's really the difference between like the elite guys and like guys like me in that elite division.
I think that's a very important thing, the race pace. I mean, look at Div 1, arguably SLR Kolka could be one of the quickest, maybe the quickest person in the whole of Div 1, especially in qualifying. She's rapid in qualifying, definitely lead times, but when she doesn't usually have that amazing consistency, and that's why she is not up there in the championship, which is a shame. I mean, but it shows on how important race pace are, because in the end you get your points after the race and not after qualifying. And I think that's a crucial part of F1, and I think me and Matt has showed that definitely this season, and and Kolka has showed us what happens when you have the opposite, a better qualifying pace and race pace.
Anyone else got anything to say about the?
Well, I mean, we do have
Upcoming-
one driver movements that it's confirmed already. I mean, Bennett's won the championship, hasn't he?
Yeah. So that was
So-
our
I
first
don't think
confirmed
it's-
movement, wasn't it?
It's not going to take a genius to work out. There's probably going to be a couple of guys moving from Div 2.
Yeah,
That's
but I
the
mean,
same
we don't
thing.
wanna.
And
We
for-
obviously
and
we
Div
don't
3.
wanna. Obviously, we don't wanna like confirm a couple and then confirm a couple and then confirm the
No,
whole
we're not
grid.
going to. We
but-
aren't going to be confirming anyone officially.
Yeah,
but
exactly,
I think
but
people,
I mean,
people know there's going to be
yeah,
a couple
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
moved.
But what I meant is that obviously Bennett is confirmed because he's won the championship.
Yeah,
So
no, of course.
I thought it could be interesting. What do you think about his chances in a higher division?
But I think he's got a really, really good chance. I've raced
Yeah,
against him a couple of times, and he's probably quicker than me in a couple of tricks. I think he's going to do really well.
He's one of the drivers who, like me and Clock, keep it out of trouble and keep it consistent. He's only won about, I'll say only, he's won 4 races this season, but 11, 12 podiums to go along with that. Just goes to show, just constantly always being up there. You can go quite far, and he's won the race with 3 races to go. And again, well, it says a lot about his championship. I think he'd be fine in Div 1. He'll be. Well, I think the whole of Div 1 next season is going to be very tight. You could have a similar season to this season, so you probably win one, and then get like maybe 3 or 4 more podiums, and it'll just be tight between the whole pack.
I think we've got an interesting question here from Dodge. And he asks, is there any downward movement? All talk is only upward.
So that again.
Question.
Is there any downward movement, like people
And
moving
then people
down?
get any better.
All
No,
you talk
absolutely.
about,
No,
all you
people
talk
have to
about
move.
is people
Yeah,
moving
no,
up.
no.
He says.
Oh yeah, I know people. I know we prioritize talking about people moving up because that's. I think that's what people want to hear. It's what people kind of want to talk about. Really, who's going up? Who's done well this season? Like we don't necessarily talk about the guys who might have had might have struggled this season, might not be enjoying their division as much as they might in a division that they could fit into as such. Yeah, of course there will be people moving down. There always is people moving down. So for people to move up, people have got to move down. It's just that's the whole point of making the divisions. It's you've got to find that balance between this person coming up. Are they better than that person going down? Are they gonna make the division better? Is the person going down gonna be too quick for that division? You've got to look at it in several different ways before you can decide on who's going to be in what grid. So you might think like what we've had to do previously, and that isn't really going to be not really going to be done anymore. It's not going to be done anymore. Is that people who had a full-time seat in, let's say, in Div 2 were going to move up to Div 1, didn't move because there wasn't a full-time seat for them to go into. I mean, that's not going to be happening anymore. Like if someone in Div 2 is too quick for Div 2, they're going to have to go to Div 1 whether there's a full-time seat or not. And if there's not a full-time seat, then you're just going to have to wait for a full-time seat because therefore you can't just have people back in Div 2 dominate a division when we've seen them throughout the season doing the same thing, if that makes sense. So it's all about trying to find a balance. Hopefully there's a couple of people who will be open to moving or be told to move, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. But there's definitely a couple of people who will be moving down, yeah.
There's been an absolutely massive question in the chat, if I may say, and that is yet again from Baggy. Imagine my shock. And he goes, I think it was a question for Ranga. He said, "When's the driver draw?"
Oh, great.
Well, just for you, Baggy, the driver draw is Tuesday the 29th of December, 2020. There you go. You're welcome.
We're all looking forward to that.
Are we allowed to say about what day the grids will be confirmed on, or will we confirm on the 29th?
The grids will be... I mean, the draw is the 29th, and obviously that is the latest that they'll be confirmed, because obviously you can't do the draw without knowing the grids. I'm going to be sitting down with all the head admins and deciding on the grids by the 28th at the latest. Obviously, it's a difficult time of year for everyone to be able to sit down and smash out the grids and smash out this and that. So we're going to have to be a bit more flexible if we need to be. But there's no point not having a deadline in there, because if we don't have a deadline, we're never going to meet anything. But we want the grids finalised by the 28th at the absolute latest, and they'll be announced either... I mean, it depends when they're done. If they're done on the 28th, then they'll probably be announced on the 28th. And then we'll go through the grids again during the draw. But people will definitely know what grid they're going to be in before they hear it in the driver draw, that's for sure. They're not going to hear the grid for the first time by the time their name's called out in the driver draw. That's not going to happen. Because eventually we might move someone. I mean, unfortunately, I'd love to say that we can do this, but we don't move people. You know, if someone is, let's say, Div 1 pace, but they can't make the Div 1 time, we aren't going to put them in Div 2. If you can't make the Div 1 time, and as unfortunate as it is, you can't just race in the division that you want to race in and then dominate it because you can't make the time. Same thing as the assists. As we've already talked about before, like, you know, just because, you know, you don't want to get moved up, or you think, you know, you want to stay where you are, you're going to turn your assist off. That's not really going to take it. That's not going to cut the mustard. Like we've seen season long from several people now have maybe changed assists here and there.
Yeah, we have the best
what their real
example in
pace is.
season 3 is the best example. I can just tell you.
Yeah,
We made a
maybe
mistake and we
so.
learned. In season 2, I was teammate in Haas with a guy called onto the podium. He won the championship, which is fair enough. Then for season 3, he got a wheel instead of a pad, I think it was. And obviously he got a bit slower, so he said to us, I've got a wheel, I've become a bit slower, can I have a retest out? And we said, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if he's slower, then he should be in the division that suits his pace. So he showed us his pace, and he went down back down to Div 2. So he essentially stayed in the division where he won the championship the season before, which was initially correct because he was like mid-pack Div 2 for the start. But 5-6 races went, and then he was quickest again in the Division 2. And by the end, he was massively ahead in the championship and was playing really with his rival. Literally playing with his rival, because I think it looked a bit ridiculous, because almost every race they had race-long fights, but he always ended up on top. It was like he was just slowing down a bit, fighting with him for it because it's fun, and then he won. Then he won the championship, and that's when we decided that if someone has shown their pace, we're not gonna look past that just because they've changed an assist, changed to a wheel or something, because 99% of the time they will find that pace again.
Yeah, the pace just doesn't just disappear. Like it doesn't like just disappear because you've gone from pad to wheel, or you turned your traction off, your ABS off. Like once you've got that pace, you've got it. Obviously, you might lose pace if you don't play the game over a period of time. But like by changing an assist, obviously it makes it harder for you in the short term. But in the long time, you're going to be even quicker than you were.
Yeah.
I think we saw it as well with season 4
McEwen.
with SLR McEwen. He went to
Yeah, I was
Div.
going to say the same thing.
He went to the old Div. Actually, when we had 3 divisions, he went to Div 3. Did SLR McEwen when he changed the level of setup, and he absolutely
Again.
dominated the race in
Yeah,
Baku
but-
by about 40
yes.
seconds or something like that, didn't he? So he got moved straight up after that.
He was really angry about moving up, from what I can remember. Then he won
Then
Div
you've got,
2
I think,
Germany.
the most
So
wins out of anyone that in Div 2, other than Beast,
so
I
it's
think, if I remember rightly.
Did he win the championship?
and
Who?
No, he didn't, did he? Beast won it. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
being an
No,
absolute
I think,
idiot. I'm
if I
sorry.
remember
think-
rightly, he like was second most wins in the whole division last season as well in Division 2.
Yeah. But I do understand people not wanting to get moved and this stuff, because obviously I had that thing in season 1, because as we talked about before, and I didn't want to get moved up because first of all I was in the lead of the championship, and I claimed that I wasn't that far ahead because I think I only had 3 wins, but it's a bit misleading because in Australia I was second to Ranga on Ranga's favorite track. In Bahrain I was second to Evoke Replace, who actually got moved up, so I essentially won that race because the guy who won was moved up straight away after the race. Then in China I won, then in Spain I won, Monaco I won by ridiculous margin, then in Canada I went from last to second, and in Baku I got punted from the lead. So I realize now that I was a bit naive to think that I would stay, but I do really see the points, and I do understand that going from the front of the grid to the back of the grid is a bit tough, and it's a weird transition, and I can definitely sign that. It really is, but it's great for learning as well, because I discovered that in Div 1, although it was a less competitive grid, if I didn't put practice in, I would just humiliate myself in what was that? What then would be 15th, and yeah, just run around the back. But then I got back down again for season 2. So, but yeah, I think we've sorted out when it comes to movements. I just thought about one thing as well, because we've talked about me and Southerners, and we've talked about Bennett as well, which is the possible champions who can move up. We should probably mention Gary and is it Craig in Div 3?
Craig, yeah.
Obviously, one of them, possibly both, will be moving up by being champion.
Should be fun.
And what would we think of their
By the way,
chances?
I just want to quickly clarify if anyone thinks that Clock saying that Craig and Gary moving up is concrete. I know Clock is an LO, but Clock does not know the grids as we speak. So whatever Clock is saying is just pure speculation.
Yeah, as you said, they may be.
Yeah, I'm
may
just
not be.
saying that because they are the two in the top, and
No,
one
no,
of
I
them will
can
win the
see why you think
championships.
that. No,
So
no, I
one of
can
them
see
will
why you think
definitely
that.
go up. That's what
Personally,
I mean.
those, as part of the 3 myself, those two are just ridiculous. Like, I take the mick of Craig every race in our party, and I always say to him, "Good, congrats on the win tonight," before the race even started. Just because I just know he's going to be up there, and I know Bean's really good as well. But for me, I think Craig's been out and out the best racer in our league so far this season. Honourable mentions for Dodgy as well. Again, he could. I don't know how far off the championship he is, but he's had a
Can
great
still win
season. But to be fair, the 3 of them, Dodgy, Bean, and Craig, I can't call who's going to win it because they're all fantastic drivers. And I hope it'd be interesting to see how they get on in Division 2. I certainly think Craig and Bean have certainly got the pace. I know Dodgy's still adjusting to the wheel, but I can't see any reason why they wouldn't do well in the division higher.
I'd agree.
Yeah, no, I definitely can't
Would you
disagree
do
with
the
that.
quiz yet? I'm
But
excited for the quiz.
actually, sorry, one last thing. I did speak about him briefly last week, but also Craftiest Jester as well. Very, very good racer.
Lad.
Very,
Lad.
very, very good racer. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's quick, his racecraft is good, and I'd actually be quite interested to see how he gets on in Div 2 because I think he'd
Get
be
this one so
very
everyone's
good as
got-
well.
It'll be
me-
gutting for me. For me, it'd be gutting if he doesn't win a race this season. He deserves to
Yeah.
win so bad.
Has he not had one?
No,
He hasn't,
he's,
no.
Oh, wow.
he's always been up there. He hasn't had that W,
Hmm.
and it bemuses me how he hasn't had that win yet.
Unbelievable bloke, unbelievable driver.
I haven't really had the pleasure of speaking to Crafty that much, to be honest. I've spoken to
Honestly,
him
have a
briefly,
chat
but-
if you
good.
get a chance. Have a chat with him. He's one of the nicest blokes.
He's got a peg
Wow.
accent as well.
We've got
Has
Nicky
he got a
trying to
better-
bribe you,
Has
Ranga.
he got a better accent than Panther or better accent than Riggs?
Oh, I can't understand Panther, so
Yeah, I would definitely say it's more he's the most understandable of the 3. You can understand what he says a bit better.
I mean, Panther talks smack all the time, so it doesn't really matter if you hear him or not.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Love you, Panther.
Yeah, I love you, Panther.
Ranga, I think
I,
Nick is trying to bribe you a bit because he
And Nicky wants
asks
to go
if
to
he-
Div
if he
1, I know, but I've not seen the
Yeah, but
switch yet.
I'm saying if he asks if he can if he subs to SLR on Twitch, does he get moved down? He's just trying to.
There's no point subscribing to SLR on Twitch because then when he goes to Twitch, he doesn't go to us. So anyone who's watching now, anyone who watches this back, don't subscribe to SLR on Twitch. We don't get the money. Just follow us.
Why not? We've got to wait to be monetized first, and we get like the.
No,
75.
because it's the bridge has been crossed several times before. Like, why don't we, get money for the league funds from the streams and then put it towards this and that, whatever. To do so, you'd have to register the league as a company, and then lots of other things come under it. Like you've got every admin, every steward, that sort of person would become an actual official employee, and then you'd have to dish out contracts, and then everyone would have to pay tax and this and that. I think, or the league would have to pay tax or something like that. I can't remember. Scott looked at it properly. He'll probably know it more than. But unfortunately, it's a lot more complicated than just get people to pay to watch the stream. Which unfortunately, because that would be ideal. We, get a bit of money from people watching the stream, put it towards stuff to make the stream better, like buying Elgatos and put in like graphics on the actual stream. But it's just not possible, unfortunately.
Yeah. If I knew how to, I'd do it every week, but I don't know how to do that, so I can't stream every race anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on? Because we are over an hour.
I'll take over.
Should we do?
Got a couple questions for you, some driver movements questions, and I want to do something we've done before again. Now we're coming to the end of the season again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the World Championship game, as I called it before. I don't know if you remember. I remember Arango was awful at it the last time, so we'll get another shot now.
God.
But we'll have some movement questions, and we've been through SLR, so I want to see how good you are when it comes to real life mid-season movements.
Cool. Okay.
Which can be interesting. I think at least. And then, first of all, I want to ask you, who was it that Schumacher replaced in '91 when he made his debut for Jordan?
Oh, Christ.
Not a clue, so I'll just give it to everyone else.
Haven't any one of you heard it? I mean, it's...
Nah, I'm going to go for absolute guess. Is it Martin Brundle?
I mean, if you're not heard of it, you're not gonna know who he is, because he's a very... he isn't the driver that people would know of. I just thought that maybe someone would have heard it, because I mean, it's a pretty famous thing that he got the seats, but it was Bertrand Gachot.
Who? Oh, that's my next guess.
Bertrand Gachot. It's pretty funny because he actually lost the seat. He couldn't race because he had to go to prison or something like that.
Oh man.
He did some sort of crime, or it was like he wasn't allowed into to the country because he had done a crime. It was something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, either way, it's a bit funny.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll take an easier one. Robert Kubica made his F1 debut in 2006 mid-season. Who did he replace?
Oh, I know.
2006. I'm going to guess it. Who raced there?
Someone else want a chance?
Is it Nick Heidfeld?
No.
No.
It is
It's
Jack Villeneuve.
Yeah.
It is Jack Villeneuve. It is indeed. Well done.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. And then Villeneuve didn't get his seat back, did he?
I think Kubica got a podium in only his second race, and BMW back then was crap, so you couldn't not give it to him.
Yeah, he got the podium at Monza, and then in 08 he won in Canada, got a pole in Bahrain. He led the championship after Canada, and then the BMW like, now we're gonna stop developing our car and develop all our resources into 09, and then they were crap in 09 and pulled out of the sport.
Comedy gold.
Oh, imagine stop developing a car when in the championship lead.
Pretty incredible.
Gotta make decisions.
Balance indeed. We'll move on to 2009 now, though.
Well, Smokey, you haven't got a chance. Smoke just said he only got a chance after 2016, so...
Oh. Well, he just wants Kvyat and Verstappen then. I'm not gonna ask that one, because that's an easy one.
As well.
We're moving on to 09, and Timo Glock, of all people, was
I know the
replaced in
answer already.
Japan because he crashed in practice. Who replaced him?
No clue.
Kamui Kobayashi.
It was Kamui indeed.
That's right.
Well
I'm
done.
so glad. I know I'm showing off, but I love Clock's quizzes, and this is the first one I can actually do well at. So forgive me. So forgive me.
We'll have number 3 from the mid 2000s as well. And it was a certain Sebastian Vettel got into the sport, but he made his debut in 06. But I'm not asking for 06. I'm asking for 07.
Is that who he replaced?
No,
as
wait.
well?
He made a. Sorry, he didn't make his debut in 06. I'm saying wrong. I'm thinking of Kubica now. I'm stupid. He made his debut in 07. It was a super sub for Kubica in. Oh, fucking hell! I told you.
Yeah, you kind of
Scrap that question.
Yeah.
I fucked that up.
I knew where it was going.
Yeah, I ended up. It's fine. It's fine. I can make mistakes as well. Where indeed. Where. Let's go back to the 90s then. I had one more question anyway, which is a good one, and it's Michael Andretti got replaced towards the end of '93 by a very famous driver.
Southerners.
He wasn't famous then, but he ended up being famous. But who replaced him?
Oh, I know this one. Do I?
Go
I'm
on.
not sure actually. I want to shout his name. Is it Mika Häkkinen? Häkkinen.
It is Mika Häkkinen. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Fair play.
But now, everyone, I want to play the World Championship game, as I call it. I
No,
played it
it's Mika
before.
Häkkinen, no Raikkonen. Very good one.
Ah, yeah, Häkkinen. I played it before. As I said, Ranga was awful.
All right.
Sorry, I've just did something else.
Oh no. Put it away.
Not
Put it
safe for
away.
stream.
I know this stuff you watch. It's not
That-
Not
human.
safe for stream.
Yeah, my controller just turned off there, so that's just great.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, let's play the World Championship game then, and I'll give you a question each. You answer. If you answer wrong, then you're out. Last one left wins.
Wow. She.
We'll take an order of year, and I decide that I will start with Ranga. We'll go from above and down, but the first 10 or 15 you should get, otherwise I will cry.
So what's
so-
this?
First, I want to ask Ranga, who won the 2019 World Championship in F1?
Lewis
Wow.
Hamilton.
Go on, Ranga.
Thank you. Matt, who won in 2018?
Hamilton.
Geddes, who won in 2017?
Hamilton.
Well done. Owen, who won in 2016?
Mika Rosberg.
Indeed he did. Dylan, who won in 2015?
That'd be Hamilton, right?
Yes, it was. Ranga, back to you. 2014.
Oh god.
Go on,
I think it's Lewis. No, it's Lewis. It's Lewis.
It is Lewis. Thank you for... I was gonna cry there if you didn't get that one. Yeah. Matt, 2013.
Seb. Vettel.
Seb indeed. Geddes, 2012.
Shit. Vettel.
Vettel it was. Very well done.
Oh, thank God.
Owen, 11.
Was also Seb Vettel.
It was Seb Vettel. And Dylan,
Yeah, also
2010.
Seb. Also Seb.
Yes.
Yes.
Ranga, 2009.
I got this?
I know this one.
Not
I know this
Seb,
one.
but
I know
I
him
think
too,
I
I
know.
know
I
it
think
too,
I
I know
know.
it too.
I think this was the year of the Brawn.
I know.
I think this is Jensen Button.
Yes.
It is Jensen Button. Well done, Ranga.
Yeah.
Matt, 2008.
Oh, I can't forget that year. Hamilton.
He's got
Thank
he didn't
you.
get an Alonso yet.
Geddes.
Oh,
Geddes.
So this is before
2007.
my time, but I think I want to say Alonso.
No,
I wish.
it's not Alonso.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
move on to Owen then. 2007.
Was Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen is correct
I'm so
answer.
glad 'cause I
I know
actually
what I'm
wasn't.
doing.
I'm not sure who won the next one, so I'm really happy Geddes got it wrong and I got to answer 7.
So, Geddes is out then. But you weren't far off Geddes, because Alonso has had 109 points, Raikkonen had 110, Hamilton also had 109, so it was a close championship. But yeah, Dylan, 2006.
I believe that's Renault, so must be Alonso.
It was Alonso.
Okay. it was-
Ranga, 2005.
Didn't Fernando win 2? I think it's Fernando 2005.
It is Fernando. I'm
Oh my God.
impressed you're still here with us. You're like one
Come
more
on.
round.
I think 2005 is pretty beginning of my knowledge. I just forget the order of people.
Yeah, I'm gonna struggle from
Matt.
now on as well.
Matt,
Yo.
2004. You're not gonna struggle now.
Michael Schumacher.
Yes. Owen, 03.
Was also Schumacher.
Yes. Dylan, 02.
Also Schumacher.
Yes. Ranga, 01.
Michael Schumacher.
Yes. Matt, 2000.
That was Schumacher as well.
It was Owen,
Oh.
1999.
This I know this.
I know
This
this
one
is
where it
wasn't
starts
Matt
to get
Schumacher.
blurry.
I know
I'm
it
out,
wasn't
sorry.
Schumacher.
I know this one too.
Was it?
This is
I
where
don't
it
know
gets-
this one. I'm not going to lie to you.
It was Hakkinen. Well done, Owen.
Actually,
I knew that.
Oh my God.
Dylan,
I would've got
98.
that wrong.
Yeah, he got it back to back, so it's also Hakkinen.
It is
Oh,
Hakkinen. Well done, Dylan. And I think Ranga's gonna go now. But Ranga, 1997.
Can I have a clue?
No,
We have- no, we have-
I'll help you. Hold up.
I can
no,
give
no,
you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a question in the quiz about who replaced who. I think that
Yeah,
was
he
this
was
one.
actually mentioned
Yeah.
in the quiz. Yeah, that's fair
It
enough.
was mentioned. in
Oh
the
my
quiz.
God! Yes, I said Nick Heidfeld. What was his name? Villeneuve. Villeneuve.
It is Villeneuve.
It
Jack
was too
Villeneuve,
easy,
97.
Get it.
That's a bit of a bit
That's
unfair,
that.
but whatever.
That's that. Everyone gets a
Matt,
life.
96.
I know this one because there's a way of remembering it. It was Damon Hill.
Yes.
Why? Why do you remember it?
It's because obviously my brother was born in '96, and I don't know. It's just he was born in '96, and and it was a British champion that year. That's just how I know.
That's nice.
Well, Owen, 1995.
95 was Schumacher's second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
It is very correct. His second Benetton title. Dylan, 94.
This is what I'm fucked.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gone now.
use Owen's clue. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna say Schumacher because it said his second.
Yes, Schumacher's
Shit.
first title came in 94.
Thanks, Owen. Thanks, Owen.
You're welcome.
Ranga, 1993.
I'm gone. I can't have a clue, can I?
Surely you knew someone who drove in that.
I know several people who drove in that era. I'm just thinking who it could be. I always get mixed up.
There's no more clues now. I'm just telling
Oh.
you. Don't give him anything.
Right, I'm stuck between 3. All right,
Who's those three?
Mansell, Senna, and Prost. Because I know that was their time.
And who would you go for?
I think Mansell was before it. But... This
Is
is
it like a
hard.
timer to this?
This is
time to
hard,
this.
man.
Nick-
I'm just gonna.
Nicky says Rangate's Kovalainen.
No, it's Ragnar. Pretty sure.
I'm gonna go with Prost.
You said Prost.
Yeah.
Wow, what a lad.
That is correct,
Is
Ranga.
it right?
Prost won in 93. Yeah. He took a sabbatical in 92, won in 93, and then he stopped.
Get in. It's just pure fluke. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Matt, 92 then.
oh! Thank God you mentioned about the sabbatical. I was stuck between two.
Oh, that's lucky for you. That's lucky
I'll
for you.
oh.
Between
No,
you
because Prost didn't race that, and
Yeah, he got fired from Ferrari in 91 and
Yeah.
he didn't get a seat in 92.
and we lost Senna in '94, but he didn't win the title 2 years before, so it's not any of them two. Ranga mentioned Mansell. Mansell.
Correct, Nigel Mansell.
Oh, God, we're doing
that's
well.
me
here.
done. That's me. That's gonna be my last
Yeah,
one.
Well,
that's-
mate.
I'm just pure down to guessing now.
Owen,
Mhm.
1991.
This is probably giving me my last one as well, because I'm pretty sure it was Senna.
Yes, it was Ayrton Senna.
Okay.
Dylan, 1990.
Oh no.
90, oh my
How
God.
many did Senna win? Oh my
A
god.
lot. I mean, not a lot, but it's either Senna, Prost, or Mansell. I don't feel how many has Prost won? Oh, a few probably. Yeah. I'm just gonna guess Senna. Back to back. Let's go.
Senna is correct.
Oh
He
my
had back-to-back titles there in 1991.
Yes. Is it like for a championship
tense.
point in all league or?
Ranga, 1989.
Nah, man. Can I have a clue?
No.
Oh no!
Not again. Not again.
You've had plenty.
The others can maybe get one, but you can't
well,
get
it's
another
still
one.
between the same three it was last
All right. The
time.
clue is he was an F1 driver.
Wow, Alright, yeah.
He's,
Oh,
he's not driving anymore.
Yeah, cheers. It's still going to be between the same three. Just don't know which one. What can I ask? What year did Senna win that we've said so far?
I've
91
said
and 90.
Senna in 91 and 90, and I want 89 now.
When did we say Prost?
5.
93.
93.
Prost won 2, did he not?
No, he won more than 2, bro.
I'm not gonna
Did
say
he?
how many he won, but
Did he win 3? I'm going to go Prost again. I think he won.
Say.
you
2
are
or
correct.
3.
Prost won 1989.
I've taken all my luck lives tonight.
You are so lucky, yeah. Yeah, it was a famous one when... Yeah, in Suzuka. Anyway, 88.
Right, I want
whose
my.
turn is it? It's
I
Matt,
want
yeah.
my clue. I want my clue now.
You want your clue?
Well, everyone's. Well, Rang's got about 10, so I want at least one.
Cry more.
I mean, I don't know.
If
this
it's
one.
not, if it's
But
who I think
88,
it is,
I'm
then I'll
surprised
need
how
a
you
clue
don't
next
know
time.
88, because 88 is...
Yeah, Matt, even I know
This
88.
particular driver, this particular
Right,
driver
I
won his
don't know
first
88.
championship in 88.
Senna.
Pastor Maldonado.
Senna is correct.
Right.
See, this is where I was
That
kind
is
of
your clue.
hoping
Does that
This-
count as a hint?
that Ranga
It's where
got
it goes-
Prost wrong,
Yeah, that was your hint, for
because
sure. That
I've
was your
kind of
hint,
got
Matt.
the 1988 McLaren in front of me at the minute while I'm just going through the cars on the menu on stream, and so I could put up the notes thing that has come up saying that Senna won in 88. So I was really hoping that was going to come up, but
I should have.
7
I should
now,
have
don't I?
known
So
that.
it
Because I
doesn't
remember I was
matter.
at the Grand Prix where he won it.
And I haven't got a clue.
87, Owen.
Yeah, I know I've got 87, and I'm kind of stuck here because of course Senna, as we said, as you just said, it was Senna's first one, so it's not going to be him, and I don't think Prost won it that year.
Go on, use your clue.
What's my clue? Go on, let's have a clue.
Well, what's a good clue on that guy?
He wasn't British.
On that guy.
That's not a very good
He's got left.
clue. He drove for Williams. In that
Drove for
particular
Williams
season.
when the season that he won
clue.
it.
That's a bigger clue than
That
I
might
got.
not be.
But Rangy
Might
got
not be.
Man, you
10.
got 5.
I got one clue. My only clue
No,
is that his
mate.
name's already been in the quiz. That's the only clue I got.
No, I gave you the clue. He
And
isn't
then
driving
didn't
anymore.
Even more. I was negative 14 years old when this season was, so that doesn't help.
I mean, didn't you have history in your
Williams drivers. Who was Williams drivers then?
I've got an idea, but
No, I don't know.
Well,
I'll call it
Have a
for this
guess.
one.
At least have a guess.
Just watch everyone else struggle.
Yeah, I guess.
guess.
Just have a guess,
one.
Owen. Just have a guess.
Don't really know any more that was around in Prost Senna's time, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Prost. Was it Prost? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Prost.
There we go. No, I just wanted to have a safe exit.
Moving on to Dylan.
I'm pretty sure.
You've got a
Ranga's
clue
now,
now, because
right?
you know it's not.
no, it's Dylan.
You know it's not Prost
No,
now.
I'm pretty
so-
sure it's either Ranga or Meh who needs to go now. So
I'm off the Ranga, bro, so I'm
Yeah,
good, regardless.
it's you, Dylan.
I'm after Dylan.
wait.
And if you're wrong, Dylan, that
Mm-hmm.
eliminates you as well. So
So
But it's-
you're basically telling me that if I get this wrong, Ranga's either second or first. Like that
Yes.
puts pressure on me. That puts pressure on me. All right. So he drove for Williams, right? That was a clue.
yeah, and it's not Prost, obviously, because Owen said that.
Who drove in the time? Can't be Senna. Wait, Owen said Prost, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh god. You sure that's not correct?
I am sure that's
Oh, you down the quizmaster!
Yo, it's my first time here.
You're the sort
right?
of person who pushes referees over.
Nicky Lauda.
Tick tock.
It's not Niki Lauda, it's...
Fuck.
Oh my god,
No.
that would have been my
I was
guess.
about to say who it was. I was about to say it was. It was close. Ranga, 87. But you... I can tell you now that now it's a new round, so it's Matt versus Ranga. If both of them answer wrong, we'll have to move on to 86. Because one of them's got to win. But Owen
Well, I
and
feel
Dylan is
like
eliminated.
if no like neither of them get it right, me and Owen still have a shot at this.
No,
I mean,
because you answered
They did.
wrong before Ranga and Matt. So
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
Can I ask? Owen said Prost,
Prost.
yeah? And Dylan
I said
said
Lauda.
Lauda.
yes,
And you said he was in the Williams, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
yes,
And what year is this? 87?
yes.
Is that too soon for Mansell? Because as soon as you said Williams, I was like, gotta be Mansell. But maybe that's too soon. No, I don't know. I don't know anyone else. I'm guessing Mansell.
It's not correct. It's not Mansell.
No, right.
You can win it now, Matt.
Go
on. If you just guess the Williams driver from 87 that isn't Lauda, Prost, or Mansell.
Who the fuck else was around there at the time? Oh, I don't fucking know.
Verstappen, maybe? He was like minus 20 that time, no?
Fucking, I don't know. PK.
You've just won the quiz. Well done.
What?
When was
No
it?
way.
Fuck off.
Nelson Piquet won his
Oh,
third and
fair.
final title in 87.
87?
That was
No
just a
way.
guess! I didn't even know he even drove for Williams! I just... Literally, the sole reason for me saying that was because Dylan said Verstappen. I thought, oh, Verstappen's dad? Oh, PK? Dad? He's racing?
No
He was-
way.
He was
That's so
35 at the time.
How many
I
did
find it
PK
interesting that
win?
you actually said Mansell, Ranga, and
Yeah.
because Mansell only won one title.
Right, did he?
Won-
Well,
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even get to
I'd like us
and-
to. I'd like a check of Matt's internet search history, please.
Lauda.
Stop the
I
game!
could probably get arrested
Stop
for
it
it. So
now,
please stop it.
Stop
Also,
the game.
Lauda, who I heard before, he never raced for Williams. He won his final title in 84 and then stopped in 85, so he didn't
What's in
actually
the
race.
So it was McLaren, right?
Yes, McLaren. Then he
Yeah.
won for Ferrari in 75
Didn't-
and 77.
Prost win 86
Prost won 86 and 85.
Yeah.
and
and
85. So if it
Yeah.
had gone to 86 and 85, I think I might have won, but I had no idea.
It was-
no idea
yeah.
about PK.
Then it
I,
was
kn-
So
I
got
knew
the
that those two are both
84.
Prost, so I was like,
Hey, Clock,
I knew it
Clock, I've
wasn't
been
Prost, but I
studying,
just
mate.
said it because I didn't have anyone else to go off of. I had no clue how to
Considering-
race them.
considering I got embarrassed the last time we did this, Clock, I actually had done a little bit of studying since.
Yeah, because
so-
the last time we did this, I think you failed on. It was either like
I got Hamilton one wrong.
yeah, you
I
failed
got
on like
Hamilton-
15.
I got Hamilton
think you failed on-
2014 wrong as it was Vettel.
Yeah.
I got the same one again this time, but I got it right. So I'm proud.
That's why I thought it was ridiculously funny when you're a Hamilton fan and didn't even get Hamilton's title.
I just got it mixed up with Vettel. Easy mistake to make.
No, it's not.
Shut up. Allow me.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to mention.
Is that the end?
Just want to mention. I just want to mention that in 83 it was PK, 82 it was Rosberg, and 81 it was PK again.
Oh, so PK
won
then.
3.
I didn't know he won 3.
Yes.
I thought he won 2.
1 3.
Having a giggle. I didn't even know who he was.
Oh,
Is
His
he
son
right?
raced in.
He
his
could have
son
been
was
flipping burgers
responsible
at
for
Burger King
Crashgate.
for as far as I know. I wouldn't have a clue who he is.
But yeah, you had Alan Jones in 1980, if anyone knew that was. Joe
Oh,
Scheckter,
he's the
79.
Australian
Ryan
guy.
Jones.
He's the Australian
Yes.
guy, was he not?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the
I
only
thought he
Australian
races
to
in
win.
Elite.
Jody
That's
Scheckter.
Ryan Jones.
Scheckter?
Alan Jones.
What?
Jody Scheckter in '79. He's a South African, one for
yeah,
Ferrari.
What was he? Yeah,
Yeah.
was he South African? Was he?
He now actually owns a farm in USA. I happen to know that.
Why'd you
from
know
Do you
from a
that?
reckon
pop-
we can
from a
move on to
podcast
driver
he
of the
was
week
on.
because we've been going for over 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Just thought I'd let you know, it is now 10:30 and we started at 9.
Well,
Yeah,
time flies when you're having fun.
yeah, exactly. It's good to see.
Bill
But
subject,
we will move on
Reading
to
have
driver of
just
the
got
week
4
and then we
penalties.
can finish our discussion. Just thought we'll do it now. Yeah, so we did have both F2 and F1 at COTA this week. How did everyone find COTA? Did everyone enjoy COTA?
They're
No.
shit.
No,
comment.
fuck Kota. Honestly,
Huh.
can't be about it.
Well, I enjoyed COTA. I came fourth, so I really enjoyed that. Anyway, F2 not so much. We'll start off with F2. And it was
No one asked.
Zydrad who got the title. We got the F2 title this weekend in the feature race. And
Well done,
there's
Zydrad.
a long little explanation. And it says, feature race driver of the day is Zydrad, F2 title winner and race winner for starting P3 on the grid from a very intense battle between himself, Darnell, and fellow rival Hamjam. Zydrad wanted the pole position, but just a little mistake in Sector 1 cost him a 10th. Pole would make his chances of the title a little easier with an extra 4 points off with him, but that wasn't the case. I'm not sure if I can read that properly. He would need full 9 points to clinch the title. Little bit of contact on lap 1 which set him back a little position, then gaining position back later to then extend to 1.5 seconds up before pitting. Pit stop later, he managed to extend the lead even further over time to see out his win that he needed for the title. Oh, so he won it. Well done. Which he only needed 5th to win, and he still won it, so that's pretty good. Can't be bothered to read the rest of it because it's really long.
I blame Liam. Blame Liam.
Yeah, blame
Definitely
Liam.
Liam's fault. Yeah.
Division
classic Liam.
1 got our driver of the week from our 4 F1 divisions this week with a fair decent margin. He got 17 votes. The next closest was 6, and that was Red Bull driver. Check this out. He got his first ever win. I feel like he'd already had a win, but apparently
Get
it was
in there,
his first
Jack.
ever win.
As if it was his first
No,
one.
he won a F2 race, didn't he? Or
Yeah, he
the
has
week
won an
before.
F2 race, but
Yeah,
his first F1 win.
Yeah, alright.
After an impressive qualifying session, Czech was in P2, and he had a great, fantastic race. In fact, it says showing that keeping within track limits is key, as he was able to snatch the win on the penalty, thus taking his first ever SLR win in F1. He's been extremely. This is from Jam, I believe, a little message from Jam, and he said he's been extremely impressive in recent weeks, and the first one is definitely the icing on the cake. With the way he's driving at the moment, it would be hard to look past him as being a strong contender for the Div 1 title next season. It's strong words from the fact that we haven't even started the next season, but fair enough. There you go. Yeah, that's it for driver of the week. If you're wondering who the other driver of the days were, we had Jam was the sprint driver of the day in F2. We had Snipes SB was the elite driver of the day. SLR Sem was the driver of the day in Div 2, and Maxwell won it in Div 3. There we go. Is there anything else we want to say, or shall I end the
No.
stream?
Apart from, thanks. It's been nice. It's been a bit of a different podcast tonight. We've been a nice little lineup with Matt and Jordan, Dylan being in here. So it's great that you guys have all managed to join us at the same time. Really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna shag you.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask you to.
That's right. No, much appreciated. It's all right. Thanks to everybody else.
Again,
Ow.
again, congrats to Matt for winning the World Championship quiz.
Shut up!
And
Shut up!
shame on everyone else losing to Ranga.
Whoa! I told you I'd done some practice.
Hopefully you
I'm
can
probably
do a
the
bit
youngest
more
out of the lot of
practice and
us,
we'll
so
get.
I'm not too
And we'll,
bothered.
hopefully you can do a bit more practice and we'll get all the way down to 1950 next time we do this.
I reckon next time we do it, yeah.
I know
alright.
the
I mean,
1950.
I'm gonna
in
do a bit of practice.
my defense, like I had the pressure of either Renga winning or Matt winning if I had it wrong. So
Surely you'd rather
like,
let
I
Matt.
was-
Surely you'd rather let Matt win than me.
of course. No.
I still think it would have been really fun if you actually lost on Hamilton 2014 twice in a row, but
That would be quite.
lucky you didn't.
Well, there we have it then. Yeah, well, congratulations.
That's
to
all,
Matt
folks.
for winning that. Oh, what have we say? Got someone say?
Hey, what?
This I thought someone said something.
Yeah, I did.
No,
I
he
said
said
that's
that's all,
that's all, folks.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I have a great time.
Didn't hear it at all. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations to Matt, okay, Southern, for winning the World Championship quiz hosted by
Oh my
Clock,
god.
our Quizmaster General. You're welcome, Clock. I said it for you. Oh, I took Callum's role for you. But yeah, welcome. Oh, welcome to the SidePOD for Dylan. Hopefully you enjoyed your.
Yeah, I quickly want to add that Matt can win the championship on Friday, so be sure to tune in.
Crying out loud! Give me a break.
Well done, Matt, on basically winning the championship already. Well done, Matt.
I hate he goes more than
Extra
chips and
pressure.
oranges.
Yeah.
I haven't said
Someone had to
anything.
say it.
Thank you for
I've said nothing.
Geordie and Ranga for coming along as well. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for F2 when we start our journey around Mexico. Hopefully we can get another Battle of the Century and I'd love to have a look at that. I'm sure Baggy and I can do a job tomorrow. Anyway.
Who's banging?
No, I have
that?
no clue. Yeah, well, thank
Someone
you
who ate a
everyone
kid.
for
Apparently ate a kid.
tuning
Big
in.
8 kid.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh, I love you.
I think we're
What's
still
up?
on, actually.